So tell me about the store and tell me about the inspiration behind the store and what you were doing before you did this.
What I was doing before I did this, I was running an art gallery and gift shop, which was amazing. It was great because I got to see artwork and see people's soul come out into their pieces, which was awesome. But I realized that I was missing something that was fulfilling me. So that's where this store came in.
Now, the store, but did you kind of see this store like right away, like as it is, or was this a slow organic process? Like, did you know what you wanted out of this?
I went for a walk with my dog one day, and I completely closed my eyes and let him walk me instead of me walk him, and all of the information just came in. Like, I saw the store, I saw the logo, I knew what I wanted to sell, I knew what I wanted to do. It all just kind of came flooding in, and it was that moment of release where I wasn't in control that did it.
So I'm a huge proponent of walking.
Yeah.
That's probably the only thing that unwinds me properly, and I don't do it enough. I used to, up until about 2 years ago, walk every night. So for about a decade, It didn't matter if it was treacherous out, I would go for a walk.
Yeah.
And most of everything that I do now is stemmed from those walks, truthfully. And I think it gets you into a zen, like the awareness and the mindfulness of that moment, like what you just said.
It's a form of meditation.
Yeah, you do. You get very meditative.
Yeah.
You almost, if you allow it, you can get completely lost in that walk.
Well, you let go in that moment. We're so controlled all the time. We hold on to every moment. We're trying to control every moment. We're trying to push through whatever we have to push through, or like...
Yeah, we're just consumed with
there's
now.
So much stuff.
Yeah.
So when you're in that moment, when you can release and you can just be and just walk and be out in nature and be with your dog, whose dogs are super therapeutic, you can just let go. You don't have to control that moment, because what else are you doing? You can't do anything else while you're on a walk with your dog. You know what I mean? Like, you can't wash your clothes, you can't do your laundry, you can't, you know what I mean?
It's the only moment of the day that I felt free, yes. I totally get it.
So,
I totally understand that, yeah.
Sometimes you get stuff bubbles up from within you when you have those moments where you're not in control.
Right, that you've been working on probably for a long time, and you just let it surface. Right. And they say that the difference between cats being the Wile E. Coyote super genius bored trying to kill you, and then there's the dog that's just in the moment, enjoying every moment.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's kind of it. I would think it would enhance that. I know when I had my dogs, it was like that. They're just so happy to be there at that moment. You feed off that.
Yeah.
So you had this, it was really a vision of the store in its entirety.
Yeah, I had the name, I saw it all. I saw the name, I saw the logo. It really, and then I had the entire meaning behind the logo came in too. And
Tell me that.
The meaning behind the logo. Well, if you look at the logo, it's circular. And the word reflection is 10 letters. So it's completely balanced. I initially saw the logo with the word completely wrapped around it. So there was five letters on top, 5 letters on the bottom. And I saw the tree with the horizon, like cut in half, basically. So you have what's above the surface and you have what's below the surface. And it's in complete balance. So if you have this big, beautiful tree, the trunk, the leaves, the branches, everything, that's what we all see on the surface.
Right.
But without the roots being just as big below it, the tree wouldn't be as big on the top. So the whole point...
The stability, the balance of that, the harmony.
Well, if you have a shallow root system, the tree is liable to fall over. If you don't have a big enough root system. So basically, your root system should be just as big as the tree above it. So what my whole thought process behind the store was, we all need to work on all the things that are below the surface so that we can have a better tree above the surface. But we don't do that. We're not really taught to do that.
No, not at all.
We're not taught to spend time on all the stuff that's below the surface. We spend so much time on the surface that we don't always even appreciate the things that are below the surface. And those are the things that people struggle with the most. All the emotional stuff, all of past baggage, whatever, we all have it. And it bubbles up sometimes, and you have to learn how to deal with it and have tools to help you deal with it.
Well, and I'm really big on, see, this is where I wish I was on the other side of the camera, because it's a great conversation. But I do, we're in such a society that pushes distraction in all forms. And we are in probably, it's probably the wrong word, and tell me if it is, but it's like what's a crucible? I'm hearing crucible. It's like that pivotal, it's like that moment of where we are getting just like sliced and diced. And we're just letting it happen. That was the wrong word. But the point is, it's like this pivotal, like we're
following suit almost.
Yeah, and we can't, it's like nobody's realizing, we're all talking about distractions, and yet we keep getting more distracted. And nobody's being, well, not nobody, but we are generally as a society allowing this pool of distraction to overcome our lives. And that is pulling us away from those moments that we need.
Well, we need quietness and peace. And what area of your life do you have that in? Just like when you walk your dog, that's why you have those special moments, because most likely it's more peaceful than your normal walk of life. It's more calm, it's more peaceful. Your dog is calm and peaceful. You have those moments where there's this quote in my house on this painting that says, stillness is where wisdom is found.
Completely, 100%, sure.
We don't stop long enough to let it come in, or let it come out, or let it absorb.
Yeah, because, well, it's like how you saw the store. It came to you because it was there, but you have to listen for it.
Well, one of the things that I do here, which is huge, and customers, we talk about it all the time. We always have a dialogue about it. Is people are always coming in saying, "I need something for negativity. I have a lot of negativity in my life. Do you have anything that helps with that?" And I always have people walk around the store and see what they're drawn to first. Like, I can easily tell you what you need. When people come into the store, I tell them constantly, they're always drawn to what they need. So they'll walk around the store, and I'll watch them pick things up. I'll watch them be drawn to certain things. And then once they do a lap around, they come up to me. They said, "You know what I'm really looking for? I'm really looking for something for negativity or anxiety, or I have a friend who's going through a really tough time. Do you have anything that would help?" And almost every single time, it's whatever that person touched the moment they came in the store. Whatever they were drawn to first, whatever they picked up first, is what they need.
Do you think that's our intuition, our higher self taking over in a kind of real animalistic? Because I really have this belief, and I see it every day in my life, and I am a product of my intuition. Literally. I am literally not on autopilot, but I allow my intuition to guide me. And the one thing that I don't like about my life is it's very quick, it's too quick, and I can handle that, but I don't like when it gets noisy. I don't like when there's a lot of disharmony. I can handle the speed if it's real slick and it's real planned and it's real quiet and very efficient, but when it gets noisy and abrupt, and I know that I'm like I'll come in here and I might be like, "Bleh," but internally, usually, the only way this whole thing works with one person is to keep it like that. But noise is that,
if it's noisy, you can't hear what your guidance is saying. Maybe that's why you don't like it.
It is, because I feel thrown.
Because if even if it's busy and even if it's busy and you're moving fast, you can still hear whatever you're guided to.
Clear. Sometimes, honestly, I feel like I'm moving at the speed of light and I'm clear as a bell. And it is like, and you'd have to, my cousin witnesses it, if you live with me, you see it, but it's just like but everything's like super smooth and clean.
Yeah.
It's almost like
Right.
slow in a way,
Yeah.
but there's no noise. But when it gets noisier, it gets like that type of distractive.
Because you can't, you're not in the
So
groove.
you're right, yeah. But that's a societal issue for us all, which the only reason I brought that up was because I can relate fully and wholly to that our intuition. So somebody comes in, they touch something.
Well, I'm not sure if it's that our bodies are being drawn to what we need, because I believe that your body knows a lot more about what's going on than we do. Our brain gets in the way. We are always being drawn towards what we need. Just like when you talk to somebody you're really excited to talk to, you lean forward towards them while you're talking. When you're not so excited to talk to somebody, you start backing up. So you can tell a lot from body language just in that. Well, your body always goes towards what it needs, and it backs away from what's not so good for it. So we don't listen to that. We don't pay attention to that. We don't really give it a thought. It's like breathing. You breathe, you don't think about it. But all those people who teach meditation or are, yogis or Zen masters or whatever you want to call it, they talk about the power of breath. It's like, well, we breathe involuntarily constantly. We don't think about it. Well, what happens when you start thinking about your breath? Something switches. So when you're always being drawn to whatever you need, and we're just distracted, so we don't think about it. What happens when you think about it? When you go up to somebody, you're like, why am I so drawn to this? There's a reason. So that's the moment it switches, is when you start thinking about, well, why did I go right to that? Well, what's that for? So a lot of people come in and they say, I need this in my life. And they want to find the stone that's good for that. Well, I always tell people, well, look around and tell me what you're drawn to. What are the top 5 things that you touched when you came in? Chances are that's what people need, but there's lots of things that are good for, there's a lot of tools that are good for lots of things. It's just getting the right one for the right person.
Right, because we're all on a different path, we're all on a different level, and it's a matter of finding those things that can be the catalyst for healing and moving forward and centering you and quieting the noise.
People are just drawn to stuff. People are drawn, like some people are drawn to oils, some people are drawn to candles, some people are drawn to stones, some people want to journal because they need to get whatever's in out somehow.
Right, and you're a curator of this. Don't you think that like people will see the store and just like a product in the store, they'll be drawn to the store.
Sure.
And then they come into the store and they're drawn to you, they're drawn to your knowledge, they're drawn to a certain product, and there's a lot to that. It's a different style of store, and it's not a shoe store,
It's very interactive. We talk about a lot of personal things.
It's about health.
It's about health. It's the balance between the mind, the body, and soul. And that's why the name reflection, mind, body, and soul, whatever is below the surface is being reflected outward. And you have to have the balance between the mind, the body, and the soul. So everything we sell has something to do with balancing that mind, body, and soul. So
that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was perfect. Yeah.
But that's true. Like all the stuff that we have trouble with generally is below the surface.
Yes.
So we need to work on all that stuff. We need to build the surface up. Or below the surface up. We need all that stuff to be healthy, solid and healthy, and balanced. And you need to spend time on it.
Yeah.
I think we don't spend time on all those things.
No, we don't. And a lot of it's it's internal work, and it's work that really nobody but you can do.
Right.
You can't pay somebody to do this for you. It's the old adage. It's no different with my company or your store, or your heart or your health or your sanity and your being and your balance. You have to put in the work.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to do it for you.
Well, you can get a lot of things to look good on the surface. That's the whole thing. But you have to do the internal work to get what's below the surface to be in balance.
And quite honestly, I spent 10 years out in California doing that.
Yeah.
That was really what that was all about.
Yeah.
It was about, and and nobody understood that. It wasn't their place to understand it, but I didn't feel comfortable coming back until that was the case.
Until you felt like it was right.
Yep. Until I was like, okay, I've got it. I understand myself well enough now to know.
Yeah.
To call myself on bullshit, and to know where my limits are, and to test. I've tested all. I've done all that, and I've figured out who I am as a human being, what my needs are. And I still got a long way to go, but I'm capable of coming home.
people don't call themselves out on their own stuff. When you can get to a point where you can look at yourself and be like, whoa, I am going down this path and I need, like, when you can actually look at it and call yourself out on it, that's where you want to be. Because then you can work on it.
Yep. Yeah, you just got to be, and it's staying at that point of constantly doing that. It's hard as people because it breaks you down. But you have to do that because it's the only way you're going to grow. It's the old, the light only gets in through the cracks, so you got to figure out.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Like, where are those cracks? And be honest about it and say, you know what, I screwed up. This is an issue I have, and I got to work on it.
Well, we very rarely learn when things are easy. We only really learn when we have a challenge, or when we are pushed, or when we are put in an uncomfortable situation.
Do you know what somebody told me today?
What?
Just before this. This is 2 stops ago today. At a place called Cozy Catering. His name's Rob, an Italian guy. But we're the same age, similar journey. But he said, my mom used to tell me that we're not here to take it easy.
Yeah.
I was like, that's awesome. Because
it is awesome.
Because we're talking about how it's and everything. And he's like, you know what my mom used to say? And I think that's true. You can't just like be lazy about this.
You don't learn when everything's going your way. You don't learn when things are easy.
Right.
You learn when you're being pushed to open something a little bit further.
Yep.
Like open yourself up to something. Open
And that's what the store's about.
your mind up. Yeah.
The store's about empowering, educating, and
giving people tools to help themselves.
Right.
Really.
Wow.
That's what I see it as. I see it as people needing to fill something and giving them a tool to help them figure out what that is.
It's an awesome journey, and it's an awesome thing to do. You know, when you think about all the things you could, it's honestly, to me, we're such a medicated society that this is, it's like therapy for your soul here.
Well,
and for your journey, and
I think we have a lot more power over ourselves than we're led to believe. So
we have all the power.
Well,
right?
Even medicine-wise, like I maybe don't put this out there.
No. But it'll only go out to the internet secretly.
My whole thing is like we have the power to heal ourselves if we can get ourselves into a position where we can do that. But we don't even think that we're able to do it. We don't think that we're worth doing it. We don't think that we have the power to do it.
Do you know what I think everybody should do? I tell this to people all the time. You have to find your cliff, find your blind cliff, jump off of it. Just do it once, because once you do it once,
you know you can do it.
Yep. It changes everything. And there's no, listen, I can tell you a super quick story, but I won't because I don't want to run out of battery. But I really think that's important because I had to do that time and time again.
Yeah.
And after a while, I was like, you know what? This isn't an ego. This is all of us.
Yeah.
You can do anything you want to do.
Yeah.
Literally. Do it.
Yeah.
But we don't because
we
so
don't.
like...
Because all the stuff that's inside of us stops us.
Yep.
Our mind stops us. If we just lived life from our heart and what we were drawn to and what we wanted to do, we'd all be in a great place. But our mind gets in the way. Well, I can't do that because of this. Or, well, this happened to me last time I did that, so I can't do it again. We're living in past.
Yeah, there's 1,000 reasons to do nothing. You can sit in one spot and talk yourself out of everything.
Everything.
Going to get a drink, going to the bathroom.
Everything.
It doesn't matter what it is. And at the higher level, the more reasons you're going to have not to do it. And fear is an illusion, and this is our greatest battle, is how do you overcome fear?
Yeah.
Walk through it. That's how you get, and that's find your cliff.
Yeah.
Make sure.